The holidays are coming up, and in case anyone's wondering what to get their manga reading friend, or if you're a manga reader who's looking for something to ask for, I thought I'd give you a few ideas. Coming from a manga nerd myself, there are plenty of choices these days. Now, if they're into the big names like Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero, One Punch Man, Demon Slayer, then the choices are obvious for just getting the newer editions or the ones they don't have yet. My Hero has plenty of spin-off series to give you options, but I'm here for those who want to be that cool different present, the newer series that they may not have heard of yet or are interested in. Just a warning, it's pretty random. I might try to actually do that thing where you see the names under the videos. Not subtitles, but that thing on YouTube. Anyway, starting with some of the obvious choices, there's Komi Can't Communicate, already in its 15th volume in the States. If the person you're buying for seems to be enjoying the anime, just know that there are loads of extra material and scenes in the manga volumes, especially if they're using the Netflix subs and not the fan subs. Following up on that, if they're fans of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Season 1 ends on Volume 6, and although they just got announced for a second season, if you don't want to wait, you got Volumes 7 and 8 available right now. For Attack on Titan fans, what do you give a friend or family member that's already read or watched all there is to this series? The cute spin-off, Attack on Titan Junior High. This 5-part big book series has Eren and his friends fighting titans in this warped slice-of-life story. With all your favorites that died in previous seasons now alive and well again, you get to enjoy all those ships and side stories you've always wanted in the regular series come to life. Then there's Mieruko-Chan. These pages just scream terror and follow-up comedy. If you enjoy the anime, good for you, but I assure you that the comedy and fear of that show is just a tenth of what you'll experience when reading the manga series. Next, there's The Dangers of My Heart, about a boy who thinks he's a future psycho and falls in love with the most beautiful and popular girl in school. He finds himself in comedical situations, constantly trying to save her from her own danger. It kind of reminds me a little of End of the Fucking World. And it's ridiculously funny, and you would probably enjoy if you enjoy both slice of life and a little dark side comedy. Next, we got Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. With its 4th volume recently released, we follow the life of Akira, a man feeling like a zombie in his current job. One day, the entire world is filled with zombies, and he decides to live life to its fullest. Pretty much imagine if the Walking Dead cast comes across Fry from Futurama. Some pretty dark moments, but that doesn't stop our main lead from trying to achieve everything he wants to before he dies. For something a little cuter and in-depth viewing in the stresses of being a teen, there's Adachi and Shimamura. 2 slackers who constantly skip class begin to hang out together. With one falling for the other, we get very cute scenes of jealousy and pampering, with its 2nd volume having a more deep, in-depth struggles that kind of even remind me of how Eva used to handle it. Next, we got another hit on Netflix so far, Blue Period. If you enjoy the anime, then the manga will give you even more of a feast on what it's like to be passionate storytelling about painting and all the wonders that come with it. An easy way to also get someone back into their artistic side. It made me buy a sketchbook. Next, we got a story about identity struggle, Love Me for Who I Am. Filled with a cast of multiple sexualities and identities, it's co-led by a non-binary who was born a boy but dresses up like a girl. Unable to identify what they want to be or who they even are, is brought into a maid cafe filled with boys who dress like girls. It really digs deep into the struggles of identity and sexuality with both society's views and their views on themselves. Its 5th volume's coming out in January and it's supposed to be the final one. Then we got a new thriller, A School Frozen in Time. I haven't actually read this one yet, but it grabbed my attention with its description. A bunch of students find themselves stuck in an empty school where time has stopped. The clocks stop exactly at the time where a former classmate committed suicide 3 months earlier and is among the group, but no one can remember which one it is. The students must face themselves in past to figure out this mystery, or they'll be stuck there forever. I'm going to be reading it soon. Very much looking forward to this more thriller aspect. Next, we got a cute one of a 2 special volume, My Summer Review. 2 friends spend their summer watching movies together. Eventually one realizes he likes the other, so they gotta make a choice. Filled with twists and turns and love for movies, this is a really cute read. And there's a part 2 coming out in January. Following up, we got Pretty Boy Detective Club. It's exactly as it sounds. A rich boarding school, there's a secret underground club called the Pretty Boy Detective Club. With money on deck, they will help you with any of your problems, willing to cause all kinds of trouble to solve the mysteries given to them. Technically, the first book feels like a 2-hour pilot, being one consecutive task, but there's also 3 light novels available and a second volume coming out in late December. Second for big books, we got Do You Like the Nerdy Nurse? A very wholesome and cute slice of life book about a very beautiful nurse who tries to hide the fact that she's a complete nerd and ends up befriending one of the schoolboys who finds out her secret accidentally. It's funny because he always catches her crying about something she wasn't able to beat in a video game, or after watching the latest anime episode and having her heart broken over how the arc ends. I feel her character resonates with a lot of grown nerds. If you're already a subscriber, you know why I'm recommending this next one. Call of the Night. A boy who stops going to school and gets insomnia begins hanging out with a vampire girl late at night. This indie punk manga rebels against their typical vampire stories in the beginning, with the lead Ko abandoning society and just wanting to enjoy life his way, befriended by a vampire Nazuna who constantly pushes him outside his comfort zone to embrace the night and all it has to offer. And with my final recommendation, Haikyuu, which is going to eventually be Season 5. I haven't read any of this yet, but I plan to around Christmas, honestly. With no date yet on the 5th season being released, there's always the books to read. I'm actually unsure if it ends on 37, but it's when they stop doing the Nekama faces, so I'm assuming that's when it ends. But it starts at the end of 33. So it's about 4 books plus arc that we've got to look forward to in the anime. I'm honestly really looking forward to reading this because Kenma's my favorite character, especially with the latest style design in Season 4. It should be more comfortable being able to read the manga version for these characters. Anyway, that's my list of recommendations for Christmas gifts. Hopefully this helps in some way of either asking for or buying for someone.